needs more enlightenment. So, and this thing can also help us to have a strong institution and democracy system in Nigeria.
You keep talking about enlightenment and the need for the electorates to know their rights and the reason why they have to come out to perform their franchise. Meanwhile, what do you think the government actually need to put in place? Because if we think about it critically, there must be a kind of something to give, to say, okay, this is what we're looking up to, for the people to actually believe you, a sign that actually when you tell us to do this, then truly this is what is going to be. Because when we talk about seeing issues of vote buying or snatching of ballot papers and the rest of that, violence in elections, I think this is the reason why you both have also agreed to the fact that there have been issue of apathy in this particular election. What do you think the government have to do right to begin to straighten this path for elections in Nigeria?
What the government needs to do right is, one, you see, when you have, number one is when you have a good government that is performing in all sectors of the system, is the area of creation of job, security, employment, housing, food, and all that. This will give the people to come out and vote. This will give them that belief to come out when they see good performance. We have seen some governments, even in this state, that perform really well. I can give an example like the former governor of Ondo Decides, Dr. when he performed very well. There is no need for people telling anybody. The second term was so easy for him because he highlighted his programs for the people and people were able to see. So when government is performing very well, this will increase the participation of people in election. They will come out and vote. But when government is not performing and things the institution too is not working, especially on the part of INEC, you know, if INEC is doing their job perfectly as regards following the electoral guidelines, providing free and fair election, this will also encourage people to come and vote. They won't have that mindset that, since either they announce or either we vote or not. So this belief will give people to come out and vote. So, and as I've said earlier, we can't rule out the issue of voters' education. The civil organization can assist. INEC too has a role to play, both on radio, television, and all social media networks. They can use that to educate the people. It can be going to the market, motor parks, doing one-on-one situation with them, discussion with them. So people will know that, this thing is our right. Don't let us sit down at home. Sometimes when I see some people complaining, sometimes I ask them, did you go out to vote? That's the question. Did you go there to perform your civic rights?
Hope you actually went out to vote.
Yes, I went out to vote for candidate of my choice. Okay. So you don't need to complain. Some people complain. Some people, they will just, during the voters registration, some people will just go there to collect it. Maybe they want to open bank account. They will just go and collect that voters card. Maybe they want to open an account, or maybe their wards want to enter secondary school or primary or institution. Maybe they will be asking. So people need that proper enlightenment, and this will help our democracy to grow in Nigeria.
Well, we'll be going off right now for a short break, but we'll definitely be back to continue with this discussion because definitely there's a lot to talk about. Now, right now, we will go off for another report package centered on misguided policies, impact on good governance, dividends of democracy, after which shortly we will be joined by our correspondent who is actually at the Collation Center. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good governance refers to mobilizing the people of a country in the best direction possible. It ensures proper utilization of all the resources of the state for its citizens, which ensures sustainable development. However, anger at political elites, economic dissatisfaction, and anxiety about rapid social changes and misguided policy over the years have fueled political upheaval in among citizens in the country.
The misguided policies are those policies that are unreasonable and unsuitable. Policies are made to enhance the welfare of the populace or the citizens. So when it is not reasonable or unsuitable, it's time to be misguided. Let's take, for instance, some few months ago, the Minister of Education came up with a policy that for you to get to the university now, for you to get admission from SS3 to university level, you must be 16 years and above. And then the question is, how realizable and how suitable is such policy?
The fundamental role of fiscal policy, monetary policy, and trade policy cannot be overemphasized in any economy, especially in terms of economic management. In Nigeria, and democratic values include a set of principles that form the basic of democratic governance.
One of the major ways you can use in making policies align with the democratic dispensation is transparency, deliberation, inclusiveness. When I mean inclusiveness, I mean for you to say something, you must have to bring the stakeholders to roundtable discussion. Let me use this issue of age limitation to university as an example. Did they even involve the university vice chancellors? Did they involve the educationists in this issue? The Minister of Education is a lawyer. What does he know about education? He's a lawyer.
Notably, the quest to achieve and sustain microeconomic objectives explains the vital roles played by fiscal, monetary, and trade policy in both developed and developing economics, which Nigeria is inclusive.
So, inclusive, or let's say, roundtable discussions involving stakeholders in discussions before you implement any policy will go a long way in helping, because people will bring up ideas, and when they are harnessed, come up with something reasonable.
Good God.
is still the post-analysis session of the Ondo governorship election on KAFTAN television. We are right back here, and now we've been joined by our correspondent who is at the Collation Center at Akure, and that her name is Afolashaye Hamzat. Thank you for joining us right now. Afolashaye, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Angela.
How has it been at the Collation Center since the collation started?
It has been going on well aside for the delay.
Okay.
The final collation started, the announcement started at about 12:25 a.m. where results from the local government was announced. And about past 1, there was a issue whereby the returning officer had to tell everyone to come back and some results are not yet on ground.
Okay.
So after that, we came back around 5 a.m. 2 other local government results were announced, and it was also announced that there are still some that are not yet here, and we have to come back by 12 p.m. All of us are back at the Collation Center right now.
Waiting for the time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. You were saying something.
Yes, I said the announcement we have now is that it's going to resume back. The announcement of the results from the remaining 3 local governments
Yes.
was postponed to next year.
Okay.
So the announcement.
All right. Are there any concerning issues right now at the Collation Center, or has everything been going smoothly? What exactly can you tell us aside that? Are there any concerning issues right now going on at the Collation Center, or everything has been going smoothly? Are there any more information you have for us?
Yes, everything is going on smoothly, but we have having 1 or 2 things to say. For example, the collation offer for Okitibupa said there was a case of overheating at RA10 not agents of just to be presented. Not doing a whole lot, but it started with there is violence. As they usually say, everything you are not supporting you should lose in court. CDP agents at Idaho local government.
Yeah.
It set the election results for this one, the local government. Nothing that there was no election at the polling unit.
No election at the polling unit.
Some ballot matches for the result that was presented here.
Okay. All right, then we'll keep getting back to you to get more information as to regards what's going on right there with you. Thank you so much for giving us this information. All right, that was Afolashaye Hamzat, who just gave us information as regards what's going on at the Collation Center. And right now, while we go on to discuss the post-election analysis of citizens' participation in Ondo 2024 election, we will be talking about some of the things which she already stated, which were so like the fact that some agents are claiming that election did not take on in some part of the local government, while some are complaining. Definitely we'll get to see complaints in elections because everyone wants to emerge victors at the end of the day. So far, listening to what our correspondent just said, what do you have to say about it?
I think irrespective of what she has said, something is clear. There is an improvement in the process,
Okay.
which I'm still reiterating. We cannot rule that out in election, most especially when we have not got to our destination. You know, I said earlier on that we need a system in place, a system that is transparent. You don't need any agent to monitor anything. The UK election where I voted, the parliamentary election, there was no agent of any party there. It was just the presiding officer and
two presiding officers in my polling unit. I cast my vote, dropped it, and went away. And there was no manipulation at the end of the day. It was because there is a system. There is technology monitoring everything. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. Because once you do it, it affects everything about you. If it affects your reputation, you won't be able to, get car insurance again. You won't be able to rent accommodation again. You won't be able to get a job will be a difficult thing. So for you not to mess up yourself, you'll be totally abstained from that. That's why you see people running away from crisis. You see a Nigerian get to UK or US, he will obey traffic rule. But when he comes back to Nigeria, he'll be following one way. I think there is a concept that we should embrace: intellectualization of blackness. See, the black portion of our eye is more important than the white, although both are composite units that work together. We need to change our orientation about things. How will you get to another man's land and obey what they do, and you come to your land and disobey what it is? That's why I'm saying, if the system set a measure for whoever violates the something, irrespective of your position, irrespective of how well placed you are in the society, you'll be dealt with. In the UK, if you drive without license, they will collect your car. And once the car is impounded, two things are involved. You get your insurance to come and clear you. It's a complicating. Once your insurance said you lied to them that you had license, that was why they insured your car. The car, at the end of the day, will be impounded. You won't have access to it anymore. And you talk to the police that, Oga, please give me your price. Can we talk about this? You can't talk it, because even the uniform of this police is digitalized. There is camera all over his body. Whatever you say there will be used against you. The policeman will advise you, whatever you say now will be used against you. Better caution yourself. So that's a system that works. They cannot manipulate the process. They will be sincere to the process, because they know the implication of doing otherwise. Because when you cannot rent apartment, when you cannot buy mortgage, because everything over there is about reputation. If you are leaving your current job and you are going to another job, they will request for reference from your current job. This year that I know that somebody will just send your name to somewhere, and you have to pass through the rigorous process. You do interview, you do everything until you get to this level. That is when we can talk about some of these things happening. You see what? Because something is favoring us now, we fail to talk against it. Because it is at my advantage. One day is coming, it will be at your disadvantage. I won't mention name. Somebody started vote buying in state, but that system was used against him when he had no money to buy vote again.
So are you trying to say at the end of the day that Nigeria has not really gotten to that point, or is not even near to the point where we get to actually scrutinize every process and be certain about each result we get?
What I'm saying is just what you are saying. The truth is that at this time, we only need a 70%, which is A.
So what do we have right now?
As I speak with you, we still have 70%. In an exam, you cannot have 100%. Sure. If you have 100%, maybe it is mathematics. It is possible in mathematics, all this calculation course. If you get all your steps right, they'll give you 100%. But in an exam, if you have 60%, 70%, I think you have done well. Out of 18 local government, we only have crisis in a local government, and you know the peculiarity of that particular local government. In 3 subsequent elections, there has not been any election where there is no crisis recorded in that same local government. Then the people of Idorin should sit back and educate themselves. The traditional institutions, the stakeholders in that place should sit and stop mesmerizing the name of that ancient town. It's a tourist attraction to the world. Why is it that in 3 elections now, I'm talking with fact, in 3 elections they have recorded casualties. they have recorded electoral violence in that same local government. Why is it not happening in Akoko Northwest? Why is it not happening in Akoko Southwest? And there's another fact you need to rule out. If you are a leader in a particular place, your performance will make people to support you. You don't need to intimidate somebody to support you. Everybody knows where he or she belongs. You understand? But when you are in position, when you do well to your people, you don't need to bribe them. You don't need to intimidate them. The result will come. But when you are in a position, a high-profile position, and your people are not feeling your impact in your local government, at the end of the day, you think using violence to win the election is the best option. I am against this. My principle is against that. The level of education I have 2 master's degrees and 1 bachelor degree. I have 1 in counseling psychology, and I have 1 in leadership learning and teaching. So all this, with all these qualifications, if I now come here and talk, I'm be supporting bad something, irrespective of whether I'm politically affiliated to them or not. It means all my education is a waste. Education enlightens you to differentiate between right and wrong. And what we have seen so far is that the leaders over there have not performed up to expectation. That's why you see violence happening in the election. Why is it not happening in Akoko? We have BTO, Bumitri Ojo. He's ranked one of the best ministers in Tinubu administration. He transformed the immigration system. He transformed the other sector under him. And because of that, he has been endorsed to continue his job. While some people were sent back home. The same person, when he was a member of House of Rep, Chairman NDDC, yes, he was able to facilitate the construction of Akoko. Get to Akoko, you know what I'm talking about. You see road. The same thing. Our own Biola Makinde here. Do you see any crisis happening in Ondo? No, because Biola Makinde is up and doing. I am here talking to you. I'm a product of Biola Makinde. He sent me abroad to study, and the best thing I can do is to show the world that what Makinde is doing that time is the best, because I'm proving to the world. I'm trying to change the narrative to the world that even though I have no money, I can educate people. This is what is right. This is what is wrong. But a number of persons also benefit from his scheme. Construction of road. Look at the modern motor park he's doing, just to make sure that the system is working. Public library. I cannot mention all of his interventions. So in this situation, you don't expect Ondo people to vote against any candidate Biola Makinde is supporting, and you don't expect Akoko people to vote against any candidate BTO is supporting. And you don't expect Okitipupa people to vote against any candidate that you don't understand.
Let me give you a little rundown of analysis. About 2.5 million voters were registered for this election, but just about 1.7 million participated in the elections. Now, so far, after collation has been carried out for 15 local government areas, INEC has adjourned the collation of the remaining local government areas, which is Odigbo, Ilaje, and to 12 p.m. Movements of political parties after the release of 15 out of 18 local government areas. We have 301,113. PDP, we have 97,051. ADC, we have 30,504. ZLP, we have 2,616. We have 1,303. Labour Party, we have 907. APGA, we have 509. SDP, we have 425. And the list goes on. However, to you, Mr. Shokoya, I would like to get your own response to what our correspondent stated earlier. And from your own perspective and observation so far, what would you say has influenced the outcome of result from each political parties so far? In just a few minutes, because we're out of time to run.
Okay, see what really happened is that if you look at from the performance there now, you see election is all about strategy. It is dynamic in nature. You cannot predict it. But you that knows the election strategy, you work on it. That's the result. Look at now what the government of the day was able to do is that let us look at people that can help us to deliver this local government or unit or ward. They were able to get them. And likewise also, the performance of some people appointed, either as a commissioner or SA or SSA, their impact too will be felt because they know what is at stake. If I was not able to deliver my unit or my ward, there's going to be problem. Query will come. So that is why you are seeing all these results. Number two is the issue of getting, in terms of the campaigns before the election, the ruling party, the leadership of that party, we are able to look for people, even outside their own party, that can come and add value. That was why they were able to get some loyalist supporters of the former governor of Ondo State, Dr. Mimiko, loyalists. They were able to get them across the 18 local governments.
All right, sorry to cut you short, but I guess we'll have to come back to
Yeah,
that.
okay.
That will be after the short break. And right there, our time for the session is up. We will go off now for a report on voting integrity impact on economic development. This will be shortly followed by our next discourse on governance and adherence to best practices. That's after the short break. We'll be right back.
Citizens are armed with the ballot, as the powerful to shape its economic landscape positively, rather than otherwise, through the act of voting. Meanwhile, the right to vote is not just a privilege, it is a powerful tool that shapes the economic destiny of a nation.
When elections are free and transparent in this country, it will result in a very good atmosphere that will, assist fast-growing business in Nigeria. It will give us the room. I mean, it will give the investors room to come and stay in Nigeria. I'm sure of that.
It can, when elections are done in a very transparent way. Definitely, it will give, let me say, courage to investors, because everybody will be sure that the leadership that is emerging is a product of the will of the people.
They also stated a transparent and fair electoral process is essential for attracting investment and boosting economic growth, which can promote accountability, stability, and predictability.
If the economy, if the voting is peaceful, fair, I think the economy will be boosted, in the sense that we're in a situation of peace. Definitely, people will like to come and invest in the country when there is peace.
It sure will do it. If we have integrity in how our elections are conducted, definitely we will know that those that are going there surely will be people with integrity. When you look at the politics of Nigeria, it's a dirty, they will say it's a dirty game. But when it comes to election, it's done in such a way that the will of the people oftentimes don't prevail. A lot of manipulation is involved. The best don't get there, which is an issue that definitely will affect investment. People that are going into power for their selfish interest will get there. They will steal, they will loot, and destroy so many other things, definitely to affect the economy.
Meanwhile, voting integrity is crucial for countries' economic growth because when government is stable and cohesive, voters can hold accountability for electoral integrity, which attracts investment, promotes good governance, and fosters stability.
I want to respect two states in Nigeria, and these are Ekiti and Osun State. They don't take anything for granted. They change government that doesn't, favor the people. They use their election to change the system. Let us allow people that are popular to contest election. The contestant should be chosen by the people. But by the time you impose your own candidate by buying votes here and there can never be peace. So we should allow this right of the citizen to prevail.
Democracy is all about that. Each man, one vote, and it's your right, the right to vote. The moment you are 18, you have that right to vote. It should not be denied anybody in whichever way. And that's why we keep saying our votes must count. I have friends, I know people that election time, election day, they stay indoor because they keep asking us, okay, all these years you have been going out to vote, what has it done for the country? But some will tell you that it doesn't count. For this last election, this last Saturday election, a lot of accusation that results were manipulated, that they were writing figures. That was not, a lot of things. And all these things are things we experience. It happened in Nigeria. People see it happening. People must have confidence in the process so that they can believe that their vote will count. It will have meaning. And that's when that happens, you can be rest assured. A lot of things will fall in place.
In conclusion, the right to vote is a fundamental pillar of democracy, enabling citizens to have to say in the direction of their country. By electing leaders who align with their economic priorities and policy, citizens can influence decisions on taxation, budget allocation, trade agreements, and economic regulation.
Welcome back once again. On this session, we will take a critical look into governance and adherence to best practices. I think this time, Mr. Shukoya, you were talking earlier, but now I would like to ask you, at this point in time, what do you think Ondo needs in particular? What do you think Ondo people actually need at this time? What do you think the government need to do right for the communities at large?
I think what the people of Ondo State need now is performance, nothing more.
Performance in what sense?
In the critical sector, what can you improve on? The one that has been done in the past, what can we improve on? The area of education, the area of health, creation of jobs, security. This thing must be continued. They must continue doing it every day, so that it is performance. Because the moment you got that ticket or you won the election, what people are expecting from you is nothing more than for you to do the needful in the area of the critical sector in the state. So when you are doing that, the people will have that belief and trust in government. Why people don't, if government is not performing, the trust will be reducing gradually, maybe from 100% down, maybe to 30 or 20%. But when government is performing, when you are doing the needful for the people, you won't have problem. That means you are having the people's support as regards your programs and policy. So government look at the critical areas that need. What Ondo State need now is industrialization. I've been in this town for a very long time. What needs now is industrialization. Sometimes when I move around, I see so many companies that are down. Look at Nairobi. I was told that that place is one of the important industry in this town, that they engage in shifting morning, I think maybe morning and afternoon, evening, and so. And they have a large number of people working there. Nairobi, Nigerian and Romania furniture company, they are producing. So look at Oluwa Glass, look at Premier Metal, and so on. So government, what Ondo State need is to shift from that civil service state, some people they call it civil service state. They need to move to industrialization. There are a lot of land, even in Ondo Kingdom here. We still have land. From where I come from Ogun State. If you look at from that, when you get to welcome to Ogun State, you will see industry by the left, by the right. Because of what? Government engage the traditional rulers, encourage them to do what? To release land for industry that are coming. And they have negotiation with them. Oh, if we create this industry here, our people will employ them. Give them conditions. That's why you see Ogun State developing. Look at their Ewekoro cement factory. You see a lot of other factories there, that Lafarge cement and so on. A lot of industry in Ogun State. So government needs to move towards industrialization in all the 3 senatorial districts. Let them industrialize. By the time they are industrialized, they will get more revenue. Big companies, if not because of Cadbury, Starmark would have collapsed. But thank God for Cadbury coming in to take part of the shares and responsibility. That's why you still have Starmark there. So what Ondo State need is industrialization, so that they can move away from that civil service state that is being called by the people. So when they create jobs, the youth get employed, everybody get employed, engage. Likewise also engage the artisan. That's another way to go. The artisan, they have all these hairdresser, organizer, they have what to bring into the economy of the state. Engage them. Give them a sense of belonging. Apart from, you see, sometimes when I see giving out palliative, I look at what are you, palliative is not. When you engage these artisans, empower them, they too will contribute to the economy, because we have to go into the issue of technology and industrialization. Why people running to Port Harcourt? Why people running to Lagos? It is because of these big companies that are there. So, and this will help the state. So, these are the things that can help the state to go. Industrialization, create an enable environment for business to strive, and the critical sector of the economy of the program of the state, let them improve on it, especially education, health, housing, then rural community development. Most of these farm tools, that all these farm products that you are seeing is from the rural areas. The rural areas need to be taken care of too. They need to provide conducive environment for them and things that they can do to improve, especially the roads network. The roads, most of the roads go to Laje and some other inner rural areas. The roads are bad. So government needs to look at all these things to improve the state.
Well, to you, what do you think so far about what he just said? And do you think that the government has actually walked in that direction, this particular moment? Sorry.
It's got some good points. Got some good points. I think what Dr. Olusegun Rahman Mimiko started should be continued. See, everybody cannot be civil servant. Everybody cannot be rich in the society. But everybody must have access to some certain things. Vis-a-vis education. The moment you introduce tuition for primary and secondary school in the state, you are indirectly increasing the number of illiterates, because there are hopeless people who have children, and the children will be at home. We have seen them, they cannot send their children to school because of tuition for primary and secondary school. All this was free during Mimiko's era. It was a pro-masses government. He had BA, mother and child. You go there, everything is free. The only thing they said you should do then is to get card Ibiayo, to show that you are from the state and you are resident in the state. Once you can show this, you have access to all of these things. But I don't know why this current government deviated from it. At least if the common man can have access to that, we can't be saying the government has not done something well.
Are you trying to say the previous government have done better than the current government?
I am not saying that. If we should do analysis of side by side on previous government, I was just saying the previous government did this program. The program is good. It should not be discontinued. This current government should continue it. This current government in the area of infrastructure, I think they have done well. They have transformed the state. The previous government, the road that led to my town, that led to Akoko, was a very bad road. But in this government, get to Akoko, they have good road now. You understand? So every government has where it focuses. But whenever you come into power and you see that this program is good, I see no reason why you should play politics with it. The masses are enjoying it. Look at the other time, when there were shuttle buses. When there were shuttle buses, children go to school. The parents were relaxed. Then it even helped to eradicate issue of kidnapping and all that, because they wait at the bus stop. The bus would pick them, drop them to the nearest bus stop to their school. Then when they close, they go to the bus stop. It drops them at home again. Parents were able to track the movement of their child because they know definitely this is the time the bus will come. So with this, everybody benefited from the government, either directly or indirectly. So that is a program that is worth continuing. The government should not discontinue such programs.
Although, out of curiosity, there was a time where I got involved in a conversation with someone, and the person stated clearly that these structures actually put in place by this previous government were some structures that actually made the people lazy. As such, we were being pampered. That was the word he used.
I will explain to you.
That we're being pampered. So don't you think that if actually this can be brought back, given the place where we find ourselves and the condition of the economy, don't you think this might actually go in line
Let me
with the
explain to you. Even
thoughts?
Developed economy, like Scotland, in UK, they have all these things for their citizens. It doesn't make them lazy. They are very hardworking. They have programs for their elderlies. Anyone that is old and his family is not ready to take care of him, they take him to care homes or give him domiciliary care that visit him 4 times daily at home. Government provide pampers, provide medication, everything. Prescription in Scotland is free. Medical doctors attend to you, prescribe drugs for you. You go to the pharmacy. From the hospital, they would have sent your prescription to the pharmacy. You go there, they give you. And things were going on. It doesn't stop the younger people to work. The physically challenged will be at their home. Government will give them accommodation, pay them monthly salary. From the Essexes of rich. You understand? That makes the place an egalitarian society, a place where everybody can survive. And there's another thing. There is no work over there that is a dirty job. There is dignity of labor. Any job you do, you earn a living from it. Our people, there was a singer that said, you know, my head, my destiny, do not let me go back to my village to go and farm. Is farming bad? Look at our orientation. We see farming as a poor man business. Farming that it is only done by billionaires over there. We have not tapped into opportunities around us. We are not lazy. We will not be lazy if we start this program. The government just needs to create an enabling environment for businesses and initiatives to survive. Now, what am I saying? There are modern apprenticeship programs that could help develop the economy. If we want to industrialize agriculture now, bring an expatriate, let them set up a farm in Nigeria of their own standard over there. Then bring students who want to study agriculture. There will be collaboration between captains of industry and the Federal Ministry of Education. They will introduce a modern apprenticeship program, a bachelor's degree, but it will be fully practical. You go and learn how to farm for 4 years or 5 years. You'll be doing just little theoretical work. By the time you finish, you already know this thing is not by paper, and all these things we do in school, we read paper, and it's not helpful. You see some people who carry certificate, their brain is as dull as anything. They don't have anything apart from that la crème, la pomme, la forget they do in school. So what we need is a knowledge-based economy. We need to train our people. Look at Dangote refinery now. 80% of workers there are expatriates. Because we don't have idea, and we have a lot of chemical engineers, we have a lot of engineer. We don't have the practical skills, and that is the truth. This is the time for Federal Ministry of Education to collaborate with Dangote refinery and help train our people in a modern apprenticeship program in chemical engineering, metal fabrication, in the oil and gas sector, and all of these things, so that even when the expatriates say they can no longer continue working with Dangote, the company will not collapse. Well, you were talking about Nirowi, you were talking about all of these companies. The key areas in the companies are handled by the expatriates, and when they were not making enough profit, they went. If we have people that have such knowledge here, they will continue the job, but we don't have the knowledge. Well, and that is why our government should focus on training, education. You don't levy education. Education must be free at primary and secondary level.
Let me go to Mr. Shukwe. Now, speaking about decision making, how can participatory government actually be used to engage citizens in different decision making processes?
You see, our decision making process starts from the choice of the candidates in any election. That's when decision making starts. It is the person that you put into power, the choice that you bring on board as leadership. That's number one decision. But at the same time, government needs to listen to the people. There must be a feedback mechanism. Public opinion must be looked into. For example, during the government of the former governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, he has these community change agents that goes to every community in the rural areas. What did you need? They write their items, roads, water, electricity, and so on. At the end of the day, they will set up a committee, the youth, the women, the elders. What they do? They put it into vote. Okay, which one do we need as our own priority within this community? They will discuss about it. When they discuss, they put it into vote. They may say, okay, we need water. Then they will send it to the Ministry of Community Development. That will look into it. They provide funds. They will go there and provide water. These are the ways decision making needs to be carried out by the people. So government must listen to people's opinion. You engage them. But I have said earlier, decisions start from the voting system, the person you are putting into power. So if you are putting the right person there and he knows what he's doing, you see the problem we are having, sometimes I sit down and look at it, our manifesto. When they call some candidates, either in the presidential or governorship or so on, come to for a debate, some of them will not show up. You cannot do that in an advanced country. You cannot. Look at the just concluded U.S. election. Donald Trump and this bold and strong woman, Kamala Harris. They were there. The American people want to listen to you, what you want to do. They will listen. If you fail to show up, that means you are disrespecting the Americans, even not the electoral body. You are disrespecting the entire Americans. But here in Nigeria, or even let's say even in Africa, they will not show up. It is not. So you have to be there, selling your ideas and principles to the masses. And so doing, they will, in terms of all this, they will now take you on. You will be accountable. You said, this is what you are going to do. This is what if you are not doing it, the people will take you on. You will account. That is when that decision issue is coming in. That, oh, you said you are going to do this. Roles, provide job, build schools and all that. So government needs to engage the people, and the people too need to engage the government. It is the two-way thing.
Anyways, right now we will be going off for another short break. We have to cut this short and go for the next package on ethnic politics in Nigeria, effect on democracy. Now, when we are back, we will take a look at elections in Nigeria, its impact of zoning structures. Stay with us.
Nigeria is a multi-ethnic nation with cultural differences between its component ethnic groups. From the north to the coast, the range in types of social system, dress, diet, and languages far exceeds that to be found anywhere in the world. Be that as it may, in the context of democracy, ethnic politics is a system that combines a structured codominance with ethnic political undertones side by side, the dominant ethnic group and the minority ethnic groups who have a right to citizenship and demand to able to fully participate in the political process.
Ethnic politics is a combination of two words, ethnicity and politics. So in a layman language, we can easily say ethnic politics is a politics of ethnicity, a politics of a group at the expense of the collective people.
Number one, let me handle the first one. When you look at it, Nigeria politics and ethnicity, you discover that one of the bane or challenges that we encounter right from the First Republic was as a result of politics of ethnicity.
Nigeria, since political independence in 1960, has been basking in the euphoria of ethnic politics, where one must belong to the mainstream for political relevance. Ethnic politics has continued to pose a security threat to democratic growth in Nigeria, which affects the promotion of good governance and democracy in the country.
We cannot run away from ethnicism in politics, and it has definitely influenced the democratic structures and the democratic principles in Nigeria. Whether we like it or not, Nigeria became a country that sprang up from multiple ethnic communities. The Yorubas are there, the Igbos, the scattered communities in the creeks, delta areas, and we have the Fulani, the Hausa, the Isoko, the Nupe, just numerous.
The genesis of ethnic politics can be traced to the colonial era. When the British were in Nigeria, the British were the ones who actually ensured that Nigeria was based, sharing of things, everything was almost based on ethnicity.
Some analysts believe that Nigeria's political problem hinges on the negative consequences of ethnic politics in the country, which is significant in explaining the prevalence of decay in Nigeria's political system. Additionally, others believe that it shows the distinctive code of conduct that depicts fairness and equity which has eluded Nigerians, thereby leading to behavioral derailment and attitudinal change in our political system and culture. Also, issues concerning political appointments, promotions, and heads of institutions are determined by ethnicity, religion, and party affiliations, thereby promoting political crises and feelings of alienation.
It has, to the extent that we do not have equality in front of the rule of law. You understand? When we talk about rule of law simply implies that the law is a respecter of nobody. But I can tell you categorically that the people from the north, they believe that they are born to rule. So as a result, certain groups in Nigeria strongly believe that they are more superior than the law.
And well, why I will say yes, I also will say no. Because ethnicity, as it is, shouldn't be a factor that will bring up insecurity. We shouldn't be insecure. I should not be insecure because you are Hausa and I'm Yoruba. I wish at least because we are Nigerian, we should, feature together. We should be together and we should function together.
There are roadblocks to a strong democracy in Nigeria at all levels of government. Conflicts triggered by political competition and communal, ethnic, religious, or resource allocation rivalries, corruption and inefficiency, dishonest voting system, misuse of powers poses a major threat to democracy.
Negatively, this has been a kind of problem to us. It has never developed, it has never assisted the nation, it has never helped the country when it comes to developmental aspect.
Ethnic politics affects Nigeria in all ramifications, in terms of resource control, in terms of revenue allocation, in terms of federal character. You understand? So it even affects the way we relate with each other.
If democracy should be a kind of a principle of government that will be used in a capitalist-oriented society, ethnicity is never and can never be unusual bedfellow. You cannot remove it. It makes democracy to thrive. It makes democracy to grow.
by ensuring that we put character and merit first. You understand? Judge a man based on his character and his ability to deliver, and not from his look, and not based on where he comes from or his religion. Do you understand? That is just the way forward. If we continue to place ethnicity before meritocracy, we are definitely doomed to be destroyed.
If Nigeria's political system must progress, it must be anchored on the need for the review of the constitutional and political structure to restore healthy political competition, as opposed to the existing outdated political mechanism imposed by the military under the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and also promote dialogue and reconciliation between ethnic groups. We must also invest in education and economic opportunities for all communities, as well as reach the principal goal of national unity. Nigeria.
To get to understand the impact of zoning structures in Nigerian elections. However, I'll start with you, Mr. Shokoya. So, straight up, what do you think the concept of zoning, well, more like, how do you think the concept of zoning played a role in this particular election?
You see, if you look at our constitution, there is no zoning there, either at the presidential election or governorship election or senatorial.
We see it playing out in our election.
It is just an in-house agreement, principal agreement between political parties or within political parties or group of people that, oh, it is our turn. Why? So that everybody will have sense of belonging. So if you look at, since 1999 in Ondo State, the late Adebayo Adefarat was from the Northern Senatorial District, Akoko precisely. Then after, it was late Olusegun Agagu from the South Senatorial District. Then it was Dr. Mimiko from the Central. So when they look at all this, then later on, later Akeredolu from the North. Now, so they now look at it. It is an in-house arrangement. Look at the number of years some areas have ruled the state. Let's give it to this area. That was what brought about the zoning system. It's not in the constitution, but it's an in-house arrangement within political parties or the group. It's even happened in the presidential election when the late Akeredolu was part of people that championed and some other political leaders in the South that, oh, it is the turn of the South, irrespective of the party. As at that time, they hold a meeting in Lagos, in Ibadan, they hold in Delta, and so on. They now conclude that South must produce the president. It's not inside the constitution, but it's an in-house arrangement. The same thing split to the state level, why we have this zoning. So they believe it is the turn of the southern central. Agagu used, I think he spent there was 6 years or so. So they believe it is the turn of the south, and everybody now agreed about it, about that zoning. So that's why you see the issue of zoning playing out. And the issue of that zoning really reduce the tension in the states. If there is no issue of zoning, governorship from the north, governorship from the central, governorship from the south, and maybe they are big politicians, the tension will high. But since they said it is the north, it helped to reduce the tension. So, but the deputy governor that each candidate will now pick will now determine the flow of votes that is coming. So if you look at the APC, the incumbent governor, Loki Ayedatiwa, was able to pick Dr. Adelami from Owo. He maintained that structure because the late governor was from that side. So he looked at it as a strategy for the party to pick Dr. Adelami from Owo to balance the equation there, so that the bulk of votes will come there. Then he knows that he too is from the South Senatorial District, know-how, with what he's doing there for where I think sometimes there is no light there in Southern Senatorial District. He was able to facilitate things that can make the people there to accept him. So he was able to do that, make sure that there is light. He brought out this prepaid meter and all that. Then if you look at the other candidate from the PDP, His Excellency Agbola Ajayi, was able to pick this young man from Idore, Adegbeso, Fesi West, from Idore. That is central. He believes he can capture. But as I've said earlier, politics is dynamic in nature. The ruling party look at what they can do, especially in Ondo East. So they were able to get some strong politicians from other parties. And you mentioned something. The candidate, the woman, the candidate of SDP.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So they look at people that they can assist them in winning. They were able to pick some loyalist member of the former government across the local government. That's why they were able to get this performance. So that zoning was able to help us to reduce the tension in the states.
Well, to you, Mr. Richard. Now, just like he stated, it is actually not in our constitution, but an agreement between political parties. Do you think whatsoever that it should be constitutionalized?
I would not advocate for that. Although zoning to some extent is working, but I have seen sentiment in the administration of respective governors that have represented their zones. When Mimiko was governor, for instance, he had mother and child in Akure and Ondo. They are both in Central. Although he touched all the primary health care across the state. But the two major mother and child, where we have experts to attend to pregnant women, one is in Ondo at Laje Road, and the other one is in Akure. Is that justice to that? There is no justice in that. Ordinarily, it should be, if you're going to have it at all, it should be 3. One in either Aikare or Owo, one in either Akure or Ondo, and one in either Ore or Okitipupa that will serve the Southern Senatorial District. That will be 3. That makes it equitable. But what we have seen so far, you see a governor who is representing his zone as governor, who focus more development in the zone. So that's why I will not advocate for it. Now we should, instead of talking about zones, we should talk about competence. We want competent leaders who knows what they want to do and who can, perform whenever we give them our mandate.
But if we do away with this zoning idea, don't you think it might cause tension, just like the way he said it? Because when we look at it critically, it has some way caused a little bit of, more like reduce the level of tension amongst regions.
It has reduced tension, but tension aside, what about development? I said when Governor Mimiko was governor, Akoko Road was bad. Akoko Road was bad, but students were able to, they benefited from other programs of his, like what's this school he built? This primary school he built, this special mega schools. He built mega school across this thing. But in the area of road infrastructure, it was towards the tail end of his administration that he was trying to bring down that Okerigbo in Ikare, where accidents normally happen, and he didn't finish it. They were surmounting that mountain. It was Akeredolu that finally did Governor Akeredolu that finally did the project. And when Governor Akeredolu became governor, he focused more attention on Akoko roads. You understand what I mean? So if we should abide by zoning, people will keep developing their zone at the expense of others. Look at it. The Southerners, they were in darkness for about 15 years. They were in darkness for about 16 years. I wouldn't know why it was like that. Or if we should also look at it in the other way around. If Southerners were in darkness for 15 years, it means zoning is also advantageous. Now that they have the power, the power has been zoned to them, they'll be able to address their problem. But we shouldn't make it that way. We should let an independent person, a person who has the love of the state at heart, to administer the state. I saw one youth posting on Facebook that the Minister of Interior left Ondo State since he has taken the assignment of Minister of Interior. What does he want? He's a Minister of Interior for Nigeria. You want him to focus only on Ondo State? So that is out of point. That's the mentality of our people. Whenever they give you minister, they want you to represent your family and other, and that amounts to nepotism.
But do you think it should have never been brought up in the first place?
It should have never been brought up. We should prefer competence over zoning. And at the end of the day, the biggest man in the zone, because he's rich, will take the ticket, and he doesn't have anything upstairs. And it's just an instance, because election as of today, my brother said something not quite long, that even primary elections of different parties, you need money to win primary elections. Now it is not, the candidacy of a party is not based on merit anymore. It is based on your ruggedity, your godfather, your eki, your rabba, your money. So if you don't have all this, you can't smell it, even if you have ideas. But he became president of America. I know that would not happen in Nigeria. They would have streamlined. They would have taken him out of the something. Look at the process Tinubu used to win the primary. He was bigger than the president and everybody then. So they tried to frustrate him out of the process, and he got it. I'm not saying Tinubu is not coming. I'm just telling you the influence of power, money, and people. So if you don't have all this, you cannot get the ticket of any party. And the highest bidder in each zone gets it. It should not be based on something. And I'm sad today that the youth was represented in the election of yesterday, and youth did not rally around him because he doesn't have money, and he has ideas.
All right, let's pause there for now. We get to cut short this conversation and move on to the next package on women's participation in politics, a call for action. We will also be back here on set to analyze that particular topic and lots more, so stay tuned.
In Nigeria, political privileges fall at the feet of men. The disadvantages that Nigerian women and girls face as they try to break free from the social and cultural constraints placed upon them are made worse by gender-based societal and political bias. The political gender disparity in Nigeria is a reflection of these constraints, and it has been reported that only 51% of Nigerian women vote election and 7% of them hold political office, indicating that women and girls are largely overlooked in the political discourse today.
From the academic perspective, we call it feminism, and it has to do with a kind of a system that denies the women opportunities that probably are available in the society, but because of their gender bias, probably they are denied of these things. The social structures of the society, the political structure, the economic structure, it does not support the women to probably occupy some spaces in the society.
Gender inequality is the discrimination between genders, which make one gender be more superior than the other one.
Gender in the first place has to do with the sex, that is either male or female sex. So anything gender has to do with both sexes, either male or female, whether they are young or old, adult or youth.
Women in politics, women are a kind of person that have a lot of ideas on them. And when it comes to politics, they were able to express themselves in different ways. They were able to uphold the past, what they have, the ideas and everything when it comes to politics.
Women in politics means the involvement of women in active participation in political matters.
Recall that Nigerian women faced criticism in March 2022 for pursuing gender parity, when the National Assembly rejected 5 gender-related bills that were submitted. The bills, which aimed to improve women's rights in several ways, showed that the Assembly's disapproval of the bills demonstrated their lack of interest in promoting gender parity in politics. This is a tragedy for Nigerian women, whose representation in politics falls short of the goal set by the National Gender Policy in 2006. However, compared to other nations on the continent, their representation in government is a far cry.
In Nigeria, there is a predominant ministry for women, the Ministry of Women Affairs. And there is no predominant ministry for men affairs. So I think women have been given their position. And there are women ministers, although their population might not be equal to that of men. There are women who are, at least there have been women who have been deputy governors. There are women senators. There are women House of Representatives. There are women councillors. Women have been in politics. Women, in fact, the preponderance of women in politics now is more than that it was during the Nigerians of in the 80s, in the 70s.
Though women act as cheerleaders at political rallies, run grassroots campaigns, organize protests against election misconduct, contest for political office, and serve as political appointees, among others. Yet, most lack voter education, as more women than men make up the nation's poor population. This hampers gender equality in political representation because poverty denies women the financial and human resources required for leadership positions.
Not every woman has the power to go for politics, one. And even few that has it, there is not a lot of money on them. In fact, the amount they sell the form service too much.
It's challenging much. An example is, have you ever had a woman governor in the history of Nigeria since independence, or even since 1999 democracy? No, when the government was returned to democracy till today, no woman. They tried to contest, but it's almost psychologically believed that they can't get them. So these are the challenges. the women face discrimination, they face inferiority complex.
They can encourage women, number one, let me say education. They should make sure that every woman goes to school, not only women, but both gendered. Number two, the amount they sell the form, they should reduce it a little bit. No, they should just make sure they reduce it so that they will be able to go for it, because the money is just too much.
It is a gradual process. There is no way in which the population of a gender will not outweigh another one, whether it is male dominated or this thing, but gradually women, especially the period we are now, is career open to talent is as a result of your time. So women will definitely get there if they are not being given. But to me, I believe they are at least being represented.
Voter education must capture the global quest for gender parity and place it in local context. Gender politics must be implemented and monitored, while feminized poverty calls for interventions to reduce wealth disparities.
Welcome back from that report. I stated earlier that we will be speaking on the topic women's participation in politics, Ondo 2024 being a case study. Now, with regards to this, barely 2 weeks to the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State, Susan Bemisola Alabi, the deputy governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, defected to the ruling All Progressive Congress. Ms. Alabi was received into the APC by Governor Loke Aiyedatiwa during his campaign tour to the Akoko Northwest local government area of the state. Now, Alabi said she was attracted to the ruling party by the style of leadership qualities of Aiyedatiwa at ensuring dividends of democracy in every nook and cranny of the state. Now, this brings me to ask you, Mr. Richard. Now, why do you think, from inception, since democracy started in the country, in Ondo, there has never been a female governor before? Why do you think this is? Why don't we have female entities in most of our power seats today?
I should ask you a question.
Okay.
Why have you not been supporting your gender?
I don't get that right.
You don't get that right. Now you're female. If we should look at the population of Ondo State now, if the women would take 60, the female would take 60%, and men would.
I'm sitting now. You looked at about you're not going to stand to raise my hands and hold my tripod because I don't know to walk.
Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry, this is afternoon. Sorry. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are now at the last lap of the collation exercise. In earnest, we will commence to attend to the remaining 3 local governments.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
let me finally welcome you to the last stage of our critical assignment. So I will invite the MC to please start calling the remaining representative of the local government, the returning officer and the medical officer to step forward to present their report. Thank you, MC.
Thank you very much, sir. Odigbo local government.
Hello, please, let me confirm the local
Hold on.
Odigbo local government, are you here? Thank you. What about okay. SLU. On their way. Okay. Please. Party agent, please. Party agent. Party agent. Okay. Okay, MC. Go ahead, please.
Odigbo.
Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. All protocol delay observed. My name is Professor Sheldon Joshua, the local government of Odu, local government. I want to.
I am Oyekemi Christiana Abayo, electoral officer of the local government.
All right. I want to present the results of the local government. Number of registration, number of voters registered, 154,382. 154,382. Total number of accredited voters, 38163. 38163. Now the voters received by the various political parties. Party A, 19. 19. Party A, 19. Party AA, 08. Party AA, 08. Party AAC, 29. Party AAC, 29. Party ADC, 392. Party ADC, 392. Party ADP, 136. Party ADP, 136. Party APC, 26683. Party APC, 26683. Party APGA, 76. Party APGA, 76. Party APM, 22. Party APM, 22. Party APP, 04. Party APP, 04. Party LP, 34. Party LP, 34. Party NNPP, 19. Party NNPP, 19. Party NRN, 62. Party NRN, 62. Party PDP, 9348. PDP, 9348. PRP, 31. PRP, 31. SDP, 12. SDP, 12. YP, 32. YP, 32. YPP, 18. YPP, 18. ZLP, 70. ZLP, 70. Then total valid votes 36995. 36995. Rejected votes 1166. 1166. Total vote cast 38161. 38161. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any cancellation?
No cancellation, sir.
No cancellation. Party agent, please. Party agent. Party agent. Okay, please, can you step forward to present your report?
Thank you very much. Please, can we settle down? Ilaje local government. Ilaje local government. Thank you.
The chairman, please let one out, please. Please one out, please.
Good afternoon, the chairman and the resident election commissioner, all other protocols to observe. My name is Professor Emmanuel Onoja for the Nigeria Local Government Collation Officer.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Okene Ibayo Fatai, the electoral officer in Katenda Platform.
You can proceed, please.
Thank you so much. Number of registered voters for that local government is hello. The number of registered voters 146 146 146 146. The number of accredited voters 29131. 29131. Now vote for each of the parties. Party A 9. Party A 9. Party AA 2. Party AA 2. Party AAC 10. Party AAC 1010. Party ADC 107. Party ADC 107. Party ADP 52. Party ADP 52. Party ABC 24474. Party ABC 24474. ABGA 21. ABGA 21. Party APM 7. Party APM 7. Party APP 5. Party APP 5. Party LP 176. Party LP 176. Party NNPP 87. Party NNPP 87. 87. Party NRM 3. Part NRF 3, Part PDP 36232, 3632, 3632. Part PRP 1, Part SDP 0, Part SDP 0, Part YP 1, Part YP 1, Part YPP 1, Part YPP 1, Part ZLP 4, Part ZLP 4. Total valid votes. Total valid votes 28592. 28592. Rejected votes 293. Rejected votes 293. Total valid votes 28885. Total valid votes. Total vote cast. Sorry, total vote cast. 28885. Thank you. 28885. 28885. Please, just calm down. Just calm down, please. Where do we need to make the rotation? Go back to Abga. Abga. Yes. 21. You mentioned 7 or 0. No, that's 8 p.m. 7, not 0. 7. Yes, sir. Please take note. 7. Not 0. Not 0. 7. Okay. Any cancellation? No. No cancellation. No cancellation. Party again, please. Party again. Thank you. Please, can you step forward to present your report? Thank you. What's the last presentation?
Yeah, the last local government, and that is SLO, local government. SLO, local government.
Please calm down. Please, let us have one out, please. People are making noise here, please. This is live. Security should tell people outside that is stopping us. Please go and check. Please, this is live. Security, please lock the back door here, please. Please lock the back door. Lock from inside the back door, please. Please let somebody tell me it's locked. Confirm, please, confirm. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Prof, please come down and give your report.
observed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Professor Musa Adeku Ibrahim, the Collation Officer for Ondo local government.
Okay, give it to the Ujo Huluwale Isaac, Electoral Officer, Ondo local government. Okay, you can now proceed.
Thank you. Number of registered voters 848. Sorry, 84888. 84888. 84888. Number of accredited voters 22975. 22975. Party result. Party A 2. AA 1. AAC 3. Okay, thank you. I'll take it again. It's all right. I'll take it again. Party A 2. Party A 2. Party AA 1. Party AA 1. Party AAC 3. 3. Party ADC 8-5. 8-5. Party ADP 3-1. 3-1. Party APC 14511. 14511. After 17. After 17. APM 4. APM 4. APP 3. APP 3. LP 4-5. LP 4-5. NNPP 2. NNPP 2. NRM 17. NRM 17. 17. That's 17 years. PDP 7814. PDP 7814.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the presentation of the collation here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is from EC8D. EC8D. Nobody has touched it, and I want to convey it now. Thank you. This is form. It is captioned 2024 Ondo State Governorship Election. Summary of results from local government areas. Collation at state level. Ondo State. So we will now transfer the results here. In your presence, please. Thank you. So I begin the process of transferring it here.
2 million registered voters are supposed to exercise their franchise to elect the person that they think can lead them and take reins of governance in the next 4 years in Ondo State. I am not alone. I have my colleague who has already joined me in the studio as the co-anchor, and he is
Dayo Omogun is my name, and it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be here and to be part of the team that's going to be looking at Ondo Decides from KAFTAN Television, the Abuja station, this afternoon. Macaulay, you know, compared to the Edo elections that are held recently, there's little or no fireworks in this.
No fireworks.
No such excitement.
Exactly.
You could very well describe this particular election as drab compared to the Edo elections. But we all understand why that is so. Because as we speak, the federal government, the government at the center, and the one currently in the state are from the same party, which makes the tension a lot less.
Exactly.
And then you can be sure of cooperation between those two. And once that is there, it goes a long, long way. I mean, talking about the power of incumbency and all that. So, well, we'll see eventually what turns out, but I don't think there will be any surprises.
Collations are on, and we'll wait to see. Our correspondent is on ground, Folashayo Hamzat, will be giving us bullet by bullet happenings as events unfold at the Collation Center. But, you know, we are going to open our telephone lines also in the course of the show, later in the course of the show, so that our vibrant callers can be calling in to make the program interactive and conversational as well as exciting. It is your show, please, Nigerians. When we display the telephone number, which will be on your screens, call in so that we can hear your views. You share your thoughts with us. Whatever thoughts you have, please call in to verbalize them. We are being joined by someone who is a friend of KAFTAN Television in the studios. He's no other person than Engineer Toba Awojaye. Toba Owojaye, you're welcome to Ondo Decides 2024 in Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV Live.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Well, viewers, Owojaye is also a public affairs analyst. Dayo, let's start by asking him. So, the people, you know, Nigerians have waited with bated breath, and like Dayo said, there was so much fireworks, so much tension with the Edo State governorship election. Well, the reverse is the case with regards to this one. Only isolated cases of violence here and there, maybe one or two, as you know, reported by our correspondent Temitope yesterday. The people of Ondo State had a debt with history. Yesterday was the D-Day for them to exercise their franchise by coming out to select out of 17 candidates that were fielded by 17 political parties. And tell us, from what you have heard as a political affairs analyst, what's the general overview of the elections so far in terms of security, arrangement, the state of preparedness of INEC, political parties, and even the people? Talking about the demographics of youths, women, and the PWDs.
Yeah, so far the Ondo elections has not failed us in any regard. We knew it was going to be a walkover for the APC because all the indices were on ground for a complete walkover for APC. APC had no serious challenge. And I would take up the PDP, but I will also take up all the 18 parties. For heaven's sake, we had 17 other parties in the election, and remove the votes of PDP and APC. All the other parties didn't get 1% of the votes. And I'm sorry to say, Labour Party is even looking like they'll get fourth, because Zenith Labour Party is ahead of Labour Party in this election. So we need to ask ourselves some very big questions. Are we serious about this change we are talking about? Are we serious about this country we are claiming we want to fix? I have nothing wrong with the APC candidate. He has not been there long enough. As a deputy, he has some experience, but he was also facing another deputy.
Yeah,
exactly. He was facing another person who was deputy to the governor, Abola Ajayi.
In his first tenure.
Yes, in his first tenure, and he was in the second tenure. And both of them had a drag in their own time with the late governor. But it's just like a fight between two sons. So there was nothing. There was no fight for me in this election because it was a fight between two deposed sons. and
Why did you refer to them?
Deposed sons, because one was completely kicked off, and then
the other one was having
issues till the man died. So you couldn't really tell where some people are still supporting based on different sentiments. And you see, so APC is not a dull party, I'm sorry to say. Once they sense that there is no strong opposition, I will tell you that this will be one of the fairest elections that INEC has run.
At least they can have that.
Yes, they can. At least nobody will breathe on INEC's neck. Yes, they did.
Kudos to INEC.
Kudos to INEC. I was in their office on Friday. There was virtually nobody in the office. Everybody was in Ondo. So INEC will claim they have done a very good, fair and fair election.
All right, Toba. You talked about seriousness.
Yes.
Still talking about seriousness, I don't know whether you agree with me on this, that we have serious issues with voter turnout. In the Edo elections, for example, where you had also about the same number with 2 million registered voters, at the end of counting, you had just about 500,000 people who voted.
Yes.
Yet you had 1-point-something million that collected their PVCs.
Yes.
What does this say? And I'm sure that's the same thing, that's the same scenario that is going to repeat itself in Ondo. Because in fact, as at yesterday, before 10, in some places, there was zero turnout in some polling stations, as at 10:30 in the morning, whereas it was supposed to open at 8:30. So what are we supposed to do about this? And what does it say of voter sensitivity, voter consciousness about the importance of elections?
I know that this figure you gave is out of over 2 million registered voters.
Which means 25%. That's like 25%.
We're on air, so let me just say what I feel. Number one, people have not seen candidates they can come out for.
Okay. You think so?
People just see two, let me use this example. People just see two aggrieved deputy governors dragging for the chair of their late
maybe that's correct for Ondo, but that was the same.
I'm coming. But you see, this is where it first of all happens. Edo will saw more fight because people saw Asue as as a new breed of politics, somebody from the corporate world who had never contested anything.
Yes.
And was given a chance. People heard him speak. People could connect to him.
Resonate.
His T-shirts, his caps were resonated with his caps were even being worn in clubs by ladies to clubs and parties. It became a brand. It became a brand to people who had not voted a long time to come out. There was part of it is that there's a part of it that people are afraid to come out and vote.
Yeah.
Number two, we have to see the IG go to the state and say that the Edo security network should not
function.
There were a lot of drag, so people were wondering, am I going to be safe? I was in Edo.
Oh, okay.
Throughout that period, I've never seen that amount of police men or security.
Yeah.
So people were largely, and then you see, once people are not sure of the outcome of election, this is weird. This is a myth that has been used over and over to make the people docile. The fact that the people believe in Nigeria that their vote
don't count. Yeah. I think that's the thing.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
That's whether we go out to vote or not.
How did it change the result? And you see, but we must continue debunking that myth.
Yeah.
Because if a politician, yesterday we had that politicians paid 20,000 naira for a vote. Now I want you to know that a politician is the most stingy person in the world. Ordinarily. So when a very stingy man brings out 20,000 to buy your vote, it means your vote is important.
Yeah, it means it's important.
He knows that your vote is important. I've seen by-elections in this state, in this country, where not now that Naira has been bastardized, 4 years ago, votes were buying as high as 150,000 because it was a by-election in a small place.
Wow.
Now, if votes don't count, why will somebody give you 150,000 for your vote?
Even 20,000 naira.
Votes count. We need to debunk this. We need to make the masses hear this and hear it over and over again. Forget all the leg overs. Forget all the razzmatazz by politicians. Politicians know that your votes count. Come out and vote.
That is why they campaign for it.
That's why they campaign for it. That's why they try to buy it. That's why they try to dribble you, because they're afraid that if you come out en masse, based on your conviction and go in one direction, they are gone. They are less than 2%. Politicians are less than 2% of Nigerians. Once you come out to election and choose a direction, there's nothing they can do about it.
So it's just that we have not had that critical mass, that mass of people coming out to vote to make that difference.
We've not had the critical mass of conviction.
Yes.
You see, Obi did a lot. He's not my candidate, but Obi did a lot to bring a lot of people to come and vote because they believed this was a new.
Exactly.
Yes.
Whether he was or not is not. We cannot find out at this point because he never got there.
Freshness.
He brought some freshness to politics. He brought some people to vote for the first time. He brought some people who had not voted for 8 years, 16 years to come and vote. And he has also let that he didn't emerge, make some people who voted then to swear, they've now sworn
that they will
never to vote again. You see, but this just plays into the hands of the politicians.
That's it.
Once we are all feeling like this election is done for, there's nothing we can do.
No matter what we do.
They would love us. They would love us the most.
Giving you the pittance.
They won't even give you pittance again. As far as they know that you are not coming out. What are you? This is why they know you're coming out. They're giving you something now.
You know, as a follow-up to that question, the incumbent governor, that's Loki seemed to be having a landslide.
He's very lucky.
He's very lucky.
As his name.
Why would you attribute that? Is it that he is loved by the people, or is it that he has a better, more robust manifesto than the other candidates, or is it that, just going back to what you said, we don't have other candidates?
See, the opposition was very weak. Let's be honest. Although at least we got some vibe from the PDP. They were fighting till the last minute. They're in court now. I don't expect anybody in Ondo State to go to court over this result. Just go home and rest. But we could see it from the media. We could see the razzmatazz. We could see the war. We could see that two people were really contesting for this position. At a point, we even saw Labour Party come up strong. Obi went there. We could see this. I didn't see Obi in Ondo State.
Exactly.
He apparently also saw what you are saying, that there's no point.
So this is what I'm saying. We even saw that 3-leg race until 1 week to the time we saw that there's no 3-leg race. It's a 2-horse race. So this is what we're saying. We need to see the opposition come together, bring candidates that we can believe in. They don't need to be rich. I was in a political meeting yesterday. They were saying, how can you beat this? And everybody on the table were very big, very accomplished. I was about the least accomplished on the table. And I told them the only way to beat these people is to bring the masses. And they looked at me and said, what is the masses? I said, all of you here are elite. Go outside the car parks, we can see your cars. We can see what you drive.
Exactly.
We can see the amount of monies you have. Once the elites consistently contest against the elites, it is not an election. It's a selection. So the people coming there, they can't see any difference between the 2 or 3 top candidates you have brought. They were in PDP, they later moved to APC. Now they have now moved to Labour Party thinking that they can cajole us. If Obi had stayed far more in power, we'll have seen virtually every rogue move into Labour Party. Because they believe that the masses are daft or dull enough not to see the difference between the hoodwinks they are pulling on us. That's what we're saying. Don't look for the richest candidate. Give us credible candidates in those states. Let them win on one of the major 3 or 4 tickets. Let the opposition work together. A divided opposition can never beat.
If we have the odds stacked against the poor in Nigerian politics, for example, from the very outset, to purchase a form takes millions. in many cases. You recall that Buhari lamented that he couldn't raise the money for his form in his first outing.
And it
helped
him.
25 million naira at the time. Today, we remember APC form was going for 100 million.
Yes.
Now, let's not even talk about the presidential etiquette.
Yes.
Now, if you bring it down, you'll probably be talking about 50 million for governorship.
Yes.
So, will Toba, even if you have the 75 million,
I don't have it,
will you... will you bring out 50 million out of that and risk it? So these are some of the issues. Are the odds not originally, preset
I
against?
think as a follow-up to that,
my point.
in Adamawa State, form for the PDP form for chairmanship, election was 10 million naira.
Imagine that.
This is what we're saying. The system has been rigged against the masses.
That's the point.
Let's just get this
So how
clear.
do we break that jinx?
See, the system has been rigged so that at every election, the elite is contesting against the elites. And the elites never fight each other.
It's all the...
People don't understand. It's all a alliance. It's a shadow boxing. I gave an example yesterday when I was speaking with some people. I said, years ago, Dino was in PDP, contested against Smart in APC.
Yes.
Then next thing, Smart jumped to APC. Dino went to PDP.
Exactly, and they still contested.
Dino contested against Smart again. Smart won. Then the next election, they jumped again. Dino now contested against. What you don't understand is that for 16 years, Dino and Smart
two of them were
just playing table tennis and changing the size of the table. They are not enemies.
And then that is why
they meet at the end of the day and discuss and give each other contracts. It's a comedy. It's a horror comedy acted for all of us.
So which means the only way out is to have a consensus.
Is to have masses come together, form one key position, so that we can know what's going on. These are the things we have to have. We have to have the masses come together, maybe not even one party, but for this position, this looks like the best person in the best party. Let all parties in that position follow that, so that they don't go and block us.
Okay, Toba, at this auspicious point, we understand the coalitions have commenced since. Let's join our crew at the Collation Center in Akure, the Ondo State capital, for progress report of what is unfolding there. We'll come back, and when we come back, we're going to open our telephone lines for our vibrant viewers to continue to call in so that they can be part of the conversation. Please don't go anywhere, stay with us. We'll be right back after the Collation Center.
Yeah.
Hello, you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Ondo Decides 2024, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN television. We're going to join, that was the situation report from the Collation Center in Akure. We are being joined by our correspondent who is on ground, Afolashayo Hamzat, for an update. Afolashayo, how are you? Please tell us what's going on at the Collation Center. What do you have so far?
I can't hear her. You can ask.
The line is epileptic. Well, Afolawi, we can't hear you. If you can hear us, please do call back. You are not audible enough. Okay. We can barely hear you, but try to call back so that we can hear you clearly for the benefit of our viewers. But let's get back to Afolashayo once again to find out if the lines are very, very clear. Please, Afolashayo, can you hear me?
You should put it on loudspeaker.
Hello, can you hear me, Afolashayo?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead with your analysis, please. What's on ground? What do you have for us?
Yes, like what I was saying initially, I said we resumed around past 12 as we were left to the local government where the results were not announced. So resumed past 12 and the results from the larger local government, the local government and the local government was announced. Right now, the officials are just checking their figures before the winner will be.
Okay. So far, that's the update you have for us.
So far, that's the update.
So what are the outcomes from those places?
What are the outcomes from those places? Ilaje?
I didn't get that question.
What are the outcomes from Ilaje and the other local governments you talked about?
The outcome? You mean the figures?
Yes. The figures.
Okay, let me get that.
Or just tell us
what are the
leading? Who's leading?
Okay, from Odigbo local government, we have 154,382 registered voters, and we have 38,163 accredited voters. APC has 26,283 votes. Labour Party has 34 votes, while PDP has 9,348 votes, and the total valid vote is 36,995.
APC won. Are you saying that APC won the local government?
And for the total vote cast, we have 36,161. I go on?
Go ahead, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
So for Elijah local government, the registered voters, we have 146,146 registered voters. Now the accredited voters are 29,131. APC has 24,474 votes, while the LP has 176. PDP has 3,382 votes. The total valid votes were 28,592, while the rejected votes 293, and the total vote cast 28,885. And for the last, which is the SLC local government, the registered voters are 84,888. Accredited voters 52,975, while APC has 14,511. The Labour Party has 45,000, while PDP has 7,814. The total valid votes 22,561. Rejected votes 417. Total votes cast 22,968.
Afolashayo, at this point, we just want to know the number of local governments that results have been collated. Give us an idea of how many local governments in total.
The total local governments
that have been collated so
18.
far. Beg your pardon?
18.
18, and who is leading? Who is winning those local governments?
APC.
APC is leading. That's all we wanted to know. Thank you so very much, Afolayo. We will be keeping tab on events as they unfold. Please don't go too far. Remain wherever you are. Thank you so very much, Afolayo.
That means, because there are only 18 local
there are only 18
government
local
areas,
governments.
so that means the entire. That means the entire.
So now we are going to take a report, and it's going to be on misguided politics. Before we come back to the studio, we're going to play a report that packaged by our correspondent on misguided politics. Please take a listen.
Good governance refers to mobilizing the people of a country in the best direction possible. It ensures proper utilization of all the resources of the state for its citizens, which ensures sustainable development. However, anger at political elites, economic dissatisfaction, and anxiety about rapid social changes and misguided policy over the years have fueled political upheaval in among citizens in the country.
The misguided policies are those policies that are unreasonable and unsuitable. Policies are made to enhance the welfare of the populace or the citizens. So when it is not reasonable or unsuitable, it's time to be misguided. Let's take, for instance, some few months ago, the Minister of Education came up with a policy that for you to get to the university now, for you to get admission from SS3 to university level, you must be 16 years and above. And then the question is, how realizable and how suitable is such policy?
The fundamental role of fiscal policy, monetary policy, and trade policy cannot be overemphasized in any economy, especially in terms of economic management. In Nigeria, and democratic values include a set of principles that form the basic of democratic governance.
One of the major ways you can use in making policies align with the democratic dispensation is transparency, deliberation, inclusiveness. When I mean inclusiveness, I mean for you to say something, you must have to bring the stakeholders to roundtable discussion. Let me use this issue of age limitation to university as an example. Did they even involve the university vice chancellors? Did they involve the educationists in this issue? The Minister of Education is a lawyer. What does he know about education? He's a lawyer.
Notably, the quest to achieve and sustain microeconomic objectives explains the vital roles played by fiscal, monetary, and trade policy in both developed and developing economics, which Nigeria is inclusive.
So inclusive, or let's say roundtable discussions involving stakeholders in discussions before you implement any policy will go a long way in helping, because people will bring up ideas, and when they are harnessed, come up with something reasonable.
Yeah, welcome back. That was our package on politicians and misguided politics. Engineer Owojai, let me ask you. You know, I've read a book by Segun Adeniyi, Against the Role of Play. In that book, he did advocate the need for politicians who want to throw their hat in the race, you know, to be tested for elocution, mental elocution, you know, clarity of mind and the likes before they can, you know, present themselves for election. And Farida Waziri, one of the EFCC chairman, the only female for that matter, also advocated for, you know, drug test for politicians. And this report is talking about politicians that come up with misguided policies. You know, is Nigeria ready for that? Do you also share the same view?
Let me pick on what she mentioned. First of all, the minister was the chancellor for Bayes University.
For Bayes University. Yeah. And he's a senior advocate.
Even if he was even a professor, he was a professor, is a senior advocate.
He was a lecturer.
The lecturer is the vice chancellor of Bayes University, a big university. If he doesn't know that there shouldn't be a law to stop, that law would backfire, then I don't know why we need technocrats in the first place. Because, you see, I'm a politician and also, to some degree, a technocrat.
And a businessman.
Wherever there is no balance of someone who understands politics, understands how to do the job, and how to carry stakeholders along, we always have these problems. They could either be too just book smart and not street smart, and not know how to carry it along, or they're just street smart and not book smart to be able to know what to do. This is why we are here. But I think the greatest problem we have with Nigerian politics is our type of politicking. Our type of politicking is a vicious system that's taking us lower by the day. It's about being a money bag. It's about party primaries. It's about world congresses. See, if you don't understand Nigerian politics and you can't win from the World Congress, you've lost the election. No, you don't even have a chance to win the party primaries. There's a World Congress that produces the delegates that will now be used in the primaries. So if you just enter politics and you just, okay, let's use my good brain, I have 5 degrees, I'm a good man, I don't steal. You may not even know the venue of the primaries by on the day of the election. It has happened to Utomi once. You will not know the venue of the election. See,
but Utomi was busy going around.
Yeah, was looking for the venue of the election. The election had finished.
So the election was over.
So it's very complex. That is why we said that somebody like Asue impressed us. He would have normally gone to one of the very small parties and just sealed the ticket, but was able to come to the core party, PDP, opposition party, fight for the ticket. Yes, by the goodwill of the outgoing governor, was able to get the ticket and was able to bring some sort of fresh new thing into politics. A fresh new hope, a fresh new, can this give us a better Nigeria? Truly, I've sat with some of the leaders of this country and I don't see them saying things better than what I know from my rented house that I'm staying. We need truly, let the best of us lead us.
Exactly. Now, but let me take you up on the best of us.
Let's take our first caller.
All right.
Thoughts,
All right.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, on to Ondo Decides. Okay, continue. We have lost the call.
All right. Now, Toba, I'll take you up on the best of us leading us. Because I think that we really have problems with our leadership recruitment strategy.
Yeah.
Today, even in the elections, we're talking about the Ondo elections, we didn't see a canvassing of issues who is going to give us a better economy? Who is going to do this? Who is going to do that? You'll find out that politics today is reduced to sentiments such as, primordial sentiments such as, this person comes from my senatorial zone. This person is my brother's friend. This person gave us a job 3 years ago. He gave us a contract. Nobody's talking about competence. Nobody's talking about pedigree. Nobody's talking about maybe academic qualification. Nobody's talking about what this person has done on his personal level, in personal capacity before
that
now.
he can replicate.
That he can replicate now that there will be money from the common patrimony. So don't you think that this way of sourcing our leaders is the real problem why we are here?
Exactly what I said, sir. Our problem is nothing apart from our wrong system of politicking. We saw the US election. As much as Trump and Kamala had their, but each person had where they stood on issues.
Exactly.
Abortion, I am for abortion. I'm
not.
against abortion. Fracking, I'm for fracking. I'm against fracking.
Immigration.
Very immigration. This is how I want to do it. This is so that the voters were sharply divided, and then we now know how many people support this type of idea.
Exactly.
And how people support this type of idea, and we now saw what idea we won. We don't have that.
We seem to
do you
have
know
the
why?
same thing of the same thing.
Edo election, a candidate who won, who has now been sworn in as governor, decided to dodge the election, the debate.
The debate.
We have a president, sorry to say, who dodged the debate.
The one before him dodged the debate.
The one before him. So, are we saying we are shocked why we are where we are?
Exactly.
That when it comes to speaking about what a person is going to do and debate it where there are no aides or people feeding him with information.
Offhand, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that we can really know what is inside the person's head.
Unscripted.
Yes. Unscripted. We need to push these people. They need to hear them speak more. We need to hear them speak on issues. We need to itemize maybe 60 top issues that affect Nigeria and ask them those questions directly.
And interrogate where they have been on such issues in times past. Yeah. For example, where have they stood in terms of, if you're talking about LGBTQ, for example, you already know that Trump has always been on this particular part.
Yes.
And now he's repeating it again.
Yes.
That strengthens
A
his position.
consistency.
Consistency. Exactly. But in Nigeria, you can find the same person say this right now, but when he thinks that the next place that is going to be a bit difficult for him, he changes. So there are no principles, there are no scruples, where for everything and anything goes. I think that those are some of the issues. For example, somebody has articulated this very well. Says, look, when you need a doctor to treat you, you don't care where he comes from.
Sure.
What you're interested in is his qualification, his experience, how many people he has performed surgery, if he's a surgeon, how many people he has carried out successful surgeries on and all that. You don't go and ask, is this person from Igara? It doesn't come up. It doesn't come up. And until we begin to do that in terms of our politics, we might just keep turning around in circles.
I agree with you, sir.
Okay, I'll react to that.
Yeah, it's I'm somebody who loves Nigeria deeply, so even talking about this hurts me deeply because while we are in this dance right, left, and center, millions of Nigerians slept hungry yesterday night.
Of course, yeah. And they're going to sleep hungry this night. Millions.
I am telling you that 80% of the families, if they don't work every day,
they can't get
do not have money on ground to survive for 2 days.
Okay, let's take this caller.
Yes, I am Joshua. I'm calling from Nasarawa State.
Joshua from Nasarawa State, please go ahead with your perspective.
Yes. What I want to talk about this, I want to say about this election is that I want Nigerians to know that posting candidates on the people is not the right thing. When people come out to vote, they should allow their vote to count.
Okay.
People will insist that it must do their party. And that's what is the big problem. We don't get the right people to govern us. I wish that this time around, the electoral commission will come out unscorched. Nobody will accuse them of anything. Otherwise, if this thing continues, only God knows what will happen to this country.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I wish our people get it this time around.
Thank you, Joshua, for your perspective from Nasarawa State. Let's take this caller.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon. You're on to Ondo Decides, coming to you live from. Yeah, go ahead. Please turn down the volume of your TV set or take some steps away from it, and then go ahead. Go ahead, sir. We've lost the caller. Now, you earlier gave kudos to INEC, right?
Yes.
What about the military? Because the police deployed 22,000, personnel. And I was asking yesterday, is it war?
I think they even did 35 in Edo State. But you see, this election, like I said, was not really, if you ask a politician, was not really a contest. We knew APC would win this. We knew this would be a walkover. I said it before the election that APC will win every local government, and my analysis has not failed on this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay? So for this one, we know that INEC can take all the glory and all the agencies, but those of us that were on ground in Edo, we saw a free and fair election until 6 o'clock.
Okay, let's say this caller until 6 o'clock. Okay, go ahead.
Very good one.
We saw a free and fair election. We went to IAGA's conference. We went to Kimber's development initiative, just different NGOs speaking about it. And we all said it was free and fair. Until the results came back by 6, the results were still, everybody was even celebrating free and fair.
Free and fair.
That was the celebration in Edo. Free and fair. Only for the governor to, I don't know how, why, go and sleep. And then they called him by 1 o'clock. That journalists cannot enter the collation center. PDP, so that PDP
is
was
it
ruling.
that journalists cannot enter or his agents?
Journalists could not enter. I was a journalist in that event. No journalist could enter that place. Any journalist that has a picture or video of him inside that final collation place should please send it to me.
Okay, we have a caller from Akure. Dr. Shegun is calling us from Akure. Dr. Shegun, nice meeting you. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, KAFTAN. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
We're fine, Doctor.
Yeah, first of all, let me say this, that I said it before the election, that Ondo State is going to give Nigeria one of the best elections Ondo State Nigeria has seen. Yes. I think that happened. Okay. Yes, the only problem about this election was a question of vote buying and all that. Well, I think that is quite something. It's not good enough for us in Nigeria if at this point we are still talking about vote buying. However, let me say this, that in every election, everywhere in the world, United States, UK, China, everywhere where the practice democracy, you spend money for elections. You spend money to mobilize people for your campaign. You spend money to draft and to put your manifesto in place. You use money to do one or two things, posters and all that. Having said all this, I think another one very big problem we have in Nigeria is we are demonizing everything in Nigeria. I think we should give kudos for INEC, at least for once, for the beautiful things they did in Ondo State. INEC was not the one buying votes. They are not the one that encourage people to go and take money. INEC is not the person that are giving out money. So what they expect INEC to do that INEC has not done. Now, another very big problem about the low turnout in election is not because people are hungry or because of anything. It's because of a lot of factors. Now, in the presidential election in the United States of America, a lot of people voted, and this vote takes about 2 weeks. We have earlier voting, we have all that, we have electronic voting, and all that. In Nigeria, for example, in Ondo State, if you are living in Akure and you have to vote in Okitipupa, for example, that will take you spend about 15,000 naira for transportation alone. That means you have to go on Friday and come back on Sunday. You spend money. The roads are not good. But, a lot of factors that are causing all these apathy or singly apathy in election system in Nigeria. And also, it's not because people are saying the election does not count. I don't like it when I hear analysts, when I hear educated people coming out and saying because they believe the election. What is saying that election is not counting? If the election is not counting, why are they spending money? Why are they buying votes? They are buying votes because they know the election, the voting of the people counts. I think that's what we should emphasize upon. But I think the problem is our mentality and our cultural belief that Nigeria, a lot of us in Nigeria, we hate Nigeria so much. And that's why we're demonizing everything about Nigeria. In election of those things, everybody knew. As my friend there has said, that Aiyedatiwa was going to win, that APC was going to win. People are decamping from one party to another every day. Even the big weeks that used to move thing, the mobilizer of all parties. They are coming to one party. I think they will not win that election. And we come out and people try to say, I heard one of the contestants yesterday, I don't want to mention him, that was complaining because we have security men in the voting area. He was saying that no, they should have gone and say distance. Then shortly thereafter, we learned that some talks they came and they I don't know what we want in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I'm not saying we are doing very well, or I'm not saying we are doing enough, but I think we should encourage the INEC and we should encourage the people too. Just don't go there and start cutting people because they collect money or anything. They spend money in America to conduct election. So we spend money in Nigeria too. However, vote buying is bad, it has no alternative. But then, we must give kudos. When we are doing very well, let's encourage our people. Thank you very much. But I said, don't think we're going to give them the best. As to my estimation, we're giving them the best. Thank you so much.
Dr. Shogun from Akure, you are so proud of your people. You do know that he has repeated exactly what you've said.
Yeah, exactly what I've said. So that's why.
Yes. It reminded me of the recently concluded American election where Elon Musk came out with $1 million dollars. That is vote buying. So which means even the democracy we copy can be guilty of vote buying.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe I need some more information.
Yes.
But can that be equated with what happens here?
No, they're far apart. However,
exactly.
Because what we are talking about is election day.
Election
ground.
Exactly.
Election ground, yes.
Of course, when Doctor was talking just now, and he was talking about using money to mobilize people for campaigns.
Yeah, mobilize.
That's normal.
That is normal.
Posters, everything.
But on the day of election, for you to come and sway people to your side with monetary inducement, that's the issue we're talking about. And I don't think that's what Elon Musk did.
But you know, the one of America is not a one-day affair. The election is not a one-day affair.
Exactly.
And
I think...
Yeah, but the real election is one day.
It's one day.
The real election is one day.
But you can vote earlier. You can vote
earlier. You can vote earlier. And campaign is still running at that period of time.
And I think that one very important thing that Nigeria must begin to look at now is the deployment of technology in our elections. Because part of what makes this vote buying possible is the fact that there are people there.
Exactly.
You have a whole lot of people, and then you can also do all kinds of things. Somebody is standing somewhere, and then they fashion a strategy by which you record what it happens in some of the stations yesterday, polling stations. You record who you voted and go and show, and then they pay you your money.
Okay.
If you disperse that crowd, that's what happened.
Let's take this caller.
Hello.
Go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Turn down the volume of your TV, please, and then go ahead.
This is Comrade Ijalaye Olufemi from Obakoko.
Femi from Akoko, turn down the volume of your TV set, please. Don't do that.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not okay with us. Turn it down.
Let me join the first speaker.
Yes, sir.
Join the speaker, please. Go ahead. It's your show.
To say that to give kudos to the INEC. Then secondly, the KAFTAN television.
Okay, go ahead.
For helping us to carry out the live result of Ondo State 2024 election.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Then what is there is that we cannot use to say that people using money to buy election one way or the other, that they are wrong totally. They are not wrong. Let's be sincere to ourselves. What is going on in Nigeria nowadays is not what every human being can do or you will see that people coming out to vote from 1 kilometer to others, what they will use for transportation is nothing to write home about. So by helping them, I can't that money given to them as their transportation to the ground where they want to vote. Then secondly, you will see that if you cannot buy people to vote, to have a credible population that they will vote for the people, it will be difficult. So let us give kudos to INEC, the KAFTAN television, and others that participated in this election. Ondo State is a state that we must we have fathers, we have those genuine people. We reason before we vote someone in. So we have many candidates, but we need the best. Thank you.
Mr. Femi, are you a politician?
It's gone.
Are you a politician? Or a registered voter? Could you react to some of the things?
Yes. So, if you see from the calls coming in, you could see that. You see, sometimes we want to stone APC on the federal level, on the presidential level. Yeah. But I've said that every state election has very little to do with the federal outcomes of life. You can play it in your campaigning and propaganda, but when the people in the states are choosing, they're choosing completely differently.
It's a different ball game.
I always like to go to Edo because that's the most contested election. This was a walkover. Yes. Part of where Obasaki didn't get it right was in, he dropped his deputy because he was heady and didn't want to agree to what they had agreed to give the ticket to Edo Central. Yes, but after that, PDP always has a reconciliation team as a policy. It is even in the timelines of it that after an election, there's appeal and there's reconciliation. They didn't have a reconciliation in Edo after the primaries. Then top candidates like Eheama, who was from Edo South, twice House of Rep, where you have some of your largest votes. And from what I heard strongly, Aswe had assured him and told him that he will be his running mate, but the party chose someone else. Even if that had been, you draw him close. Sorry, we couldn't do what we agreed. I don't run the show entirely. Come and take this position. Come and do this. What I'm coming to is that the opposition is still too petty, too picky, too arrogant to upturn anything I can see.
Hello. Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Please turn down the volume of your TV and go ahead.
I really enjoy your program.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you for calling.
I hate when people compare Nigeria with America.
What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
America practices democracy for the past 248 years.
What's your name, sir?
We, like just 23, for this democracy. So it's a learning process. We are coming here.
It's a learning process. It's all right.
What I saw yesterday in Akure, I'm happy. And I'm proud to be in Nigeria.
Okay.
To be in Nigeria. Because from my house to where I vote, I spent 3,000 naira before I can vote. So how personal money. But what of the less privileged people? As they wait to vote, they no money. So the politician will find ways to get money so that they can go there and vote. Not vote buyer. Who will buy vote? Something like vote buyer yesterday. I can bet it with you.
Okay.
No money. No money in the country. People only give me 2,000 for transport. I will go and vote. So please, and in Edo case, that matter is in the court. So that they should not put it on this news.
Okay. He's on ground.
I think that just following up on what you were saying before, I think that part of the problem was not just the fact that Shuaibu was heady in that they are face-off. I think also, and we have several cases to back this up, that Obaseki was a lot rigid. For example, you had 14 House of Assembly members who were not sworn in.
Can we take Femi Okoko, please?
Yes,
Femi from Akoko.
Okay.
Femi from Akoko, please go ahead. You're calling.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay. Thank you.
Although you asked a question before,
yeah, go ahead.
Whether I'm a politician or not.
Yes, whether you are just a politician.
Every human being, they are politicians.
I'm talking about partisan politics.
Every given human being, you either belong to a politics in your house or outside.
I'm talking about partisan politics, whether you belong to a political party, you are a registered.
No, not at all.
You are a registered.
But I'm following what the incumbent governor is doing.
Okay.
So I love people who talk the truth.
Okay.
And nothing but the truth. So if we go into transportation about this election, you will see that the people spend a lot. I myself, talking to you, I took my own motor to the voting center, and the voting center to my house is almost 3 kilometers to Bakoko. So spending almost 20,000 to buy petrol, given a token of 7,000 or 10,000, can that buy me? No. But let us be sincere to ourselves. We need to vote somebody who will help us, who will start from where he ends, in one government to the other, so that people can enjoy. No employment for the youth in the society. But when he's talking that he will people, so let us give him chance for this dispensation. When the next dispensation comes, we should share our eyes and our brain and know where to go. So we still have a lot of time for election in Nigeria and on those states at large. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that not a problem right there, that there's so much distance that we have to take vehicles at a time when ordinarily I think there are usually orders that there's no movement, no vehicular movement, isn't it? I mean,
Nigeria Wahala. What we have seen so far is that the people who are from the callers have rationalized the amounts given to them as transport money.
Money.
So transport money has now been officialized. Is now vote buying money has now become transport money. Okay, let us all transport ourselves.
Yes,
and they should maybe peg an amount so that you can be giving transport money.
Okay, let's take that further. Let's take that further.
I think they're justifying the fact that the voting centers are far-flung. So for you to move and then get to your voting center, and a politician comes to give you money to augment for your transportation. There's nothing.
Okay. So let's look at
this
this scenario. Toba is the voter. Macaulay is PDP. I'm APC.
No, I'm not PDP. I'm not PDP. I don't have a political party.
No. It's an example. We're just trying to paint a picture.
Hello.
And then
let's
I give you transport money. He gives you transport money.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Omojaye speaking. Concerning this election.
Omojaye. Obajaye. From where, sir?
From Akoko land.
Yes.
Akoko. Okay, go ahead.
And concerning this election.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
People talk about vote buying. But vote buying is not the case here. Now, normally, people are supposed to be registered very close to their environment. But you discover that the environment, most people live very far, and the process of changing those things to when they are supposed to vote very close to them is the INEC has issues here. Now, where people register now, new words are being created, all these things are being created, but INEC will never follow those things. People are not even properly educated on that issues. And that is why people now go very far or still vote where they still live formally. And that is why now they term that thing as what? Money for transportation instead of what? Money for vote buying. So that is the issue we are having on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
And concerning the election, when we talk about the issue of transportation or moving of vehicles, since there is no, it is a walking away election. Nobody has any other opponent or any somebody. Everybody in Ondo State want to vote for what? For Aye Atiwa. And that is why the people are free to move here and there.
Okay.
And there's no violence anywhere.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Uvajaye.
Thank you.
Let's go to Dr. Naji, who is joining us from Lokoja. Dr. Naji from Lokoja, please go ahead with your contribution.
Good afternoon, KAFTAN. I really thank you for the live program concerning the Ondo election.
Thank you, Dr. Naji.
You see, the problem with our country on issue of election is a very serious one. Because anytime it favor you, you defend it as if it's the right thing. When it's only in Nigeria, when somebody is doing something wrong, they will defend it as if it's the right thing. But anytime they cheat you, they use that money to buy vote and you lost election, you start condemning INEC. And what election vote buying is clear. It's an electoral abuse. It's an offense in our law. You understand? And you know quite well that the danger of vote buying is like murdering somebody's future, ambition of people. If somebody that has the idea, the competence, the popularity, everything, because they didn't have money to buy food, then automatically either you are a criminal or you have a very bad background, evil background. Then you buy food or you share money for people and they say it's transportation. Then you get to position. Then how do you define that? Then you say no, you share money for people for transportation or people that. Before I create a polling unit, they change voting point to polling unit. They look at the distance before they create polling unit. Distance is what they consider. They don't just create polling units. Polling units are created where it's close to the people, at the center where people are settled. So why would somebody be defending what you know that is wrong? I think critical that Nigeria is lacking leadership. Every level. So we need to condemn for buying. And we need to make sure that what will be encouraging now is let us set a commission that arrest and prosecute people that are stealing our vote and buying our vote. That's the only way we can have competence in our leadership position. So as I'm talking to you today, most elections that they are in is through vote buying and changing of the result sheet. That's why you see that many people don't understand. We are sure, like if you refer to what happened in Ondo now, you know quite well that the election, the other parties were complaining of the distribution of election sheet. That they have an issue with the kind of election sheet that they share to each ward. So these are the things that we should look at. And no any election is correct. What we're telling is that vote buying is not a good one at all. And I'm calling on the election as the other thing I'm trying to advise the INEC. Let us digitalize our electoral process. We don't need to be gathering at the polling.
Thank you, Dr. Naji. Dr. Naji has made very valid points.
I think
talk about delineation and the siting of voting centers.
This is what we started with. That you see, we have to, INEC has to help us look at the areas where voters stay, look at the state of the economy right now. People cannot afford on election, because on election day to even move.
It's the difficult one.
In Edo State, I was an agent there. I couldn't move. You couldn't hire transport. You had to look for private cars, pay them 3 times the cost to move so that you can be able to cover what's happening in various polling units. So voters should be at at most 1 kilometer
from
exactly
residents.
From the residents.
So which means
so that they can walk there, they don't need to transport, they can walk to where they are voting, vote and come back. That is one of the things.
To take a look at.
That is why I've said that.
We need to tweak the...
Yes,
the vote by we have listened to those on ground in Ondo, and there are two things we need to pick out of here. One is that they have seen the money given to them
as transport,
as rationalization, as transport, and their effort for coming out. And the way they have spoken about it passionately, they are not remorseful about it.
About it at all, yeah.
Yes, that's one. We have also seen that there is a goodwill for the incumbent governor, because you see, the masses are very easy to hoodwink. The fact that the late governor fought him for a while until he died, the cabal fought him for a long while, and he has now been able to overcome and stay there. He has goodwill with the people. So this is why I said it was a walkover. There was no need. This was one of the elections where I could afford to be 100% free and fair. And we must give them the praise for that. Because they saw that on ground, the governor has goodwill. They saw that on ground, no other aspirant will be able to mobilize people to come out and vote. These are the realities. So what we are seeing, if the country continues in this steady decline to poverty, this is a very worrisome trend for 2027.
And what
because if people are now giving 50,000 to go to polling units, what can we say about that?
Okay, Engineer Toba Owojaye, we thank you so profoundly for finding time to come to our studios in Abuja, the nation's capital, and giving us this incisive analysis of Ondo Decides 2024 from Dial.
How time flies.
How time flies, Dial.
How time flies.
It's been wonderful having you,
Thank you, sir.
I hope that we can have many more times together.
Well, viewers, we're going to take you over to, hand you over to our studios in Ondo, Akure, the Ondo State capital, for Ondo Decides 2024 for the continuation of the program. Please, thanks for being there. See you next time, and bye for now.
democracy, citizens have the opportunity to participate in decision-making process, which can lead to more responsive and accountable governance. Residents in Ondo have stated the elected officers should do the right thing without anyone convincing them.
Promises of I will take care of education. Are you following now? Yes. Those promises, free education. Talk about free water, that is access to water, the access to good roads, and then access to agricultural improvement. That's food for everybody, especially when the country presently is facing a lot in terms of hunger and famine. So many of the politicians promise surplus food, money. Then some are even going to the extent of talking about how to curb inflation. And concerning the youth, they promise sometimes, and almost all politicians who are vying for one post or the other, one political position or the other, if they want to get the electorate, get the votes of the electorate, they always promise youth empowerment. And the youth empowerment in the aspect of, skills acquisition, and then youth employment, because unemployment continues to grow in hundreds and in bunches every now and then.
Additionally, democracy tends to promote individuals' freedom and human rights, contributing to a more equitable society. Ultimately, the dividends of democracy can enhance the overall quality of life for citizens and foster a sense of community and belongings.
The challenges is unfaithfulness to electoral promises. Now, I hit the nail on the head. Unfaithfulness to electoral promises after they have been voted in. No sooner they have gotten to the seat of power than they will forget the promises. And then the masses will be left to themselves to decide for themselves that they take their destinies to their own hand, because the electoral officials who have now won the election, have been sworn in, may think less or nothing about the electorate again.
Meanwhile, some of the residents stated that the challenges voters face in holding elected officials is voters' engagement after election.
How do you know the wrong person? Check the profile of that person. Check the pedigree of that person. The pedigree of the person who wants your vote matters. In the past, how did he live his life? Are there any criminal records in the court of law? And then in the past, has he been engaged in any, unlawful acts that are unconstitutional? That's one. Then, apart from that, desist from money-induced voting. That means you shouldn't be bribed before you vote. If you are bribed before, that's how to encourage them. If you are bribed by any politician before you vote for them, you have already gotten your answer. Very simple. When they get to the position of power, they will first of all struggle to get the money they invested in the campaign. And during the campaign, you were giving money. I'm not saying you were giving money. I'm just saying maybe everybody was giving, or some people were giving money to vote for them. What they are saying is that we sold commodities, we sold materials. And a businessman will have to sell that same product at higher price before he can get back his money invested on it. To get your capital, to get his capital, a politician, he had given electorate money. Don't think he will now look for other money to start repairing the road, providing the water, providing the free education. No. He will first of all struggle to siphon money in order to equip and get the money back. The money which he spread and induce people to vote for him. How to encourage them? Don't get money from anybody before voting. The electorate must desist from that.
In conclusion, citizens says party make hundreds of campaign promises, but not all are seen by voters as central to a party offering. And in one voice scream, fulfill your campaign promises.
influence of violent electoral contention on citizens for the constraining principles of a liberal democratic order will be conditional on whether they support the ruling regime or the opposition. However, no matter which side they stand, it is a rape of democracy.
I believe it's working in Nigeria because everybody has his own freedom. We have freedom of movement, freedom of speech. So I believe democracy is working in Nigeria.
It's not working well. It's not working well at all. Our leaders should even try to find ways out for the masses to alleviate these difficulties, because things are too difficult for the masses. So masses are suffering. So our leaders are not, our political leaders are not performing very well. They are not performing very well during their campaigns. They don't fulfill what they are saying. So they don't fulfill what they are saying at all. So democracy is not working well.
Potential leaders subvert democratic norms and institutions when they engage young Nigerians to help them rig elections through violence. These actions on the long run ruins the bountiful harvest of democracy, leaving the people constantly impoverished.
My thought is that on that day, everybody should go out and vote for their person we like to be our choice.
Violence can put things into, they can put them into the office through crooked ways, so that, but we don't want it, because if they get there, it means they don't even get there in a proper way. They don't get there in a proper way. So violence even can't help to put the right to put the right persons on seats.